Hello everyone and welcome to this little video that I'm gonna make if I ever get back online, that is. Of course, I'm speaking to you now from a router that is broken at the moment. It keeps resetting itself every 5 minutes, so gathering footage for this video may be interesting. So we're gonna talk about why it's awesome to be a healer in this video, and I haven't really been playing SWTOR that much lately. I've been playing the Destiny beta a lot before the router reset. I blame that. I blame Bungie personally for breaking my router, of course, because it resets every 5 minutes. I can't log into SWTOR because by the time I log in and by the time I load up a character and by the time that character loads into the world, the router's reset and we've DC'd. So I can't get anything done in SWTOR. I do have some footage of Xenoanalyst. I'll probably put that over this video. But anyway, we're going to talk about healing and why it's awesome to be a healer. Because being a healer is fun. It can be fun. It can be hard work at times. But ultimately it's fun. And I've been playing a healer pretty much since, not since launch. I started out with a Sentinel and got a Sentinel to 50, and then I decided that I couldn't get into any endgame content when I switched server, when they had the first server merge. So I decided, you know what, tanking's not for me, I'm gonna roll a healer. And I've been a healer pretty much ever since. I picked a mercenary, and it's pretty awesome being a healer. You do get quicker queue times now. I mean, although on the Red Eclipse lately I've been getting instant pops for my 55 healers. Talk about there being no tanks. My tank had to wait about 20 minutes in the Grip Finder queue, so there seems to be no healers right now on the Red Eclipse. I don't know why, because healing a hard mode flashpoint is quite relaxing. It's a pretty relaxing experience as an operative, at least. I've been healing quite a few hard modes. It gets interesting when you get a bad group, though. It can be one of the few instances where a good healer can turn a bad group into a good group. You know, a good healer is the difference between you wiping and you clearing the content. You know, because a good healer can make that difference. You can be that person that makes that difference in the group. You can take an average group and drag them through content. With tanking, it's not so much. DPS have less of an influence really on the group. A good DPS and everybody else being bad tends to result in that DPS dying because they usually pull aggro a lot. Although a good DPS shouldn't be pulling aggro. So we'll get back to our healer discussion, and I love being a healer. I said before, my favourite healer in the game is the Scoundrel healer. Although it's not my main healer, I main a mercenary healer. The mercenaries are pretty awesome, but the Scoundrel is just awesome. You can just heal on demand as a Scoundrel, really. There's nothing really that you have to worry about in terms of your resources. Awesome as a Scoundrel, and I have so much crit, I never have to worry about my resources because I can always just use Diagnostic Scan, and I'm pretty much guaranteed that one of those ticks will crit and I will get my energy back. You know, so I never really have to worry about resources. Of course, the healer that is most sensitive to resources is, of course, the Sorcerer or the Sage if you're playing on the Republic. Again, I quite like the Sage and Sorcerer. They're pretty decent. I have gotten to love them slowly over the course of this expansion, over the course of Rise of the Hutt Cartel. I've slowly but surely drifted back to my Sage and Sorcerer healing. It's pretty fun. It is kind of fun now. I mean, at the start of the expansion, Sagey sucked, to be honest with you. I was struggling big time on a Sage. I mean, healing a lot of shadows, which were either under geared or on the gear level for hard mode flashpoints. That was the difficulty. With it nowadays, it's not so bad because most tanks are at least over geared or can at least have access to gear that is, you know, beyond what the hard mode flashpoint requires. And notice I say hard mode flashpoint and not operation. Hard mode flashpoints are way better as a healer than operations. Story mode operations are boring as hell as a healer these days. 8-man group finders, they're just a snooze fest these days because they boosted our healing, which we didn't need. We didn't need a boost to our healing. And 16-man, you can just go AFK most of the time in a 16-man raid. 4 healers is just overkill. I don't know why everyone insists on taking 4 healers to a 16-man operation. 2 would be enough, in my opinion. If I'm honest, if they're overgeared, why not just take 2? Have more DPS. The fights will be shorter. You know, I spend more time DPSing in 16-man story mode ops these days than I do healing. You know, I may as well just go DPS spec. Although I wouldn't do that though, because you want to stay healer spec, because then someone will notice and someone will complain about a lack of healing. But I've never really felt it's necessary to have 4 healers in 16-man. In hard mode, they are necessary because there is a lot of damage flying around, and there's a lot of things that need to be cleansed, in particular hard mode and nightmare mode. So there's a lot of healing output required for a healer, and healing hard mode is pretty fun. I have healed hard mode. I've never tried nightmare yet, and I'm never likely to try nightmare at this stage because I can't even log into the game right now. Hopefully, come on BT, send me a new router please. I'm still waiting for it. It's been about 2 days now, and I still haven't logged into the game. So this video goes up, I've got it fixed. So I'm just complaining at nothing here, so it's fixed. Obviously, if I can upload a video, then it's fixed, unless I decide to upload it on the 3G, which means, you know, we'll be how's it going 2016 if I decide to upload it on my 3G with my 3G network thing. So hi 2016. Remember 2014? We had a game called Star Wars: The Old Republic. You know, we had some healers in that. Of course, there's no healers in SWTOR now in 2016. Everything's just tactical operations. So there you go, a little bit of the future there. So if you're saying this, what the hell? We got rid of healers back in 2014. We got rid of them a long time ago. You know, why are you talking about healers anymore? We got rid of them all. We just got little aid stations that we go to in the raid boss and we get healing. Why the hell are you talking about them? They're gonna do that, I think. They're gonna have tactical raids. That's the next step on the next rung down on the ladder for BioWare to go to, is tactical raids, and then it's time to quit the game after that, to be honest with you. But we'll get back to healing. Let's get back to talking about healing. Why it's so awesome. A good healer, again, is the difference between life and death. Some people don't like that responsibility, I have to say. Some people just go, oh my god, what if I mess up, someone will die. If that person is a marauder, then you're doing good as a healer. So if a marauder dies, good job. You're working well as a healer. Because we hate marauders. We want to let marauders die. Just for fun, basically. It's just fun to watch them die. That's why I let them die. They are idiots as well. So, you know, letting marauders die is worthwhile. Letting tanks die, that's not good. That is not good for us. So you very rarely come across a bad healer in this game. I mean, I said it before when I did my tanking video, the amount of marauders in particular I added to my ignore list. And I only ever added 2 healers in all those flashpoints I ever did. Only 2 that were pretty bad. Some healers seemed too concerned with healing themselves. I've had a healer once that was just so bad and concerned with healing himself. It's like, yeah, heal the rest of us. You know, the tank is the one taking the damage, and the tank, of course, is your primary concern as a healer. You do not want your tank to die. There is a saying, though, if the tank dies, it's the healer's fault. If the healer dies, it's the tank's fault, and if the DPS dies, it's their own fault. You know, so those are the rules to live by. So again, your tank is your primary goal for healing is keep the tank up. Don't let your tank die. Because if the tank dies, where's the mob going to go? It's going to go straight for you, and you weren't built to survive. So you're going to keep always keeping your tank alive. The most fun class, again, for keeping the tank alive, and probably the best for this, is, of course, the Scoundrel. The Mercenary isn't too bad at that either, but the thing we really hate about being a Sage is undergeared tanks. We really hate them. They are just, we just look at the tank's gear and our force is at 20% already. Just by looking at them, that's the thing. Our force is gone. We're like, ah, damn it. Please be geared for tanking, and please bring a shield. Why do tanks queue for operations and not bring a shield? You can tell right away though when a DPS has queued as a tank, because you can just see their HP just plummet, and there's nothing you can do about it because they have no mitigation, of course. And they're just trying to tank. You do get that on occasion. A tank that sometimes a DPS that queues as a tank. But yeah, I mean, I like healing. I love it. I love being the difference between life and death. I like cleansing things. I like it when the tank is surprised when I've cleansed everything. And when the DPS is like, oh, you're cleansing. You're like, yeah, I saw that debuff on you, and I'm going to cleanse it. It's less healing for you to do. And some people that think that the more healing they're doing, the better the healer they are. It's not particularly true. It's why a lot of people look at their HPS, which I don't see the point in for healers. If you're looking at your heals per second, I never really bother with that. I mean, we want people to take less damage, so we want to do less healing in fights, not more healing. If you look at my HPS, is like 2.9k in that last fight, and mine was like 3.4k. It's like, yeah, well done. You know, the group took more damage in that fight. You tend to find the HPS goes down as the raid gear average gear level goes up, because the tanks have more mitigation, so they take less damage, and the DPS have a higher damage output, which means the fight is shorter. The fight is a lot shorter, so we should find that our healing goes down as we progress gear wise. So again, our need for healing goes down. That's the thing, it's our need, and our useful output should go down, not up, generally. Unless we're doing a more difficult tier of raid, then our healing goes up at that. But again, as the gear gets better, as the average DPS gets higher, and the average tank, the mitigation gets higher, the average damage reduction that a tank has goes a little bit higher, our healing is less required. And that's why story mode ops are boring for healers ultimately, because there's just less for us to do. There's less healing for us to do. You've got Nerfa hard mode, which needs a cleanse, which is the kind of only real useful thing to do in that fight. I mean, it's pretty easy to heal. If your healers are somewhat under geared, we used to take 3 healers to that fight just to make sure that we got that extra cleanse and that we got some extra healing on the tanks, because we were moving the droid into the path of the healers all the time, which was fun. And again, you know, a healer, I don't get why we're judged on HPS, because it is a very poor way to judge a healer. I'd rather heal smarter, you know, smart heals, rather than just have a healing output. You know, we wanted things that make us kind of like, if you look at things like damage prevention as a healer as well, you know, we have our HOTS stacked on, we have our Kolto shell, we have our static barrier, things like that. In preparation for a fight, that's our big thing that we want. And there's nothing worse as a scoundrel healer is when the ready check is done and someone's not ready. It pisses us off so much, because we've come out of stealth, we've got our 2 stacks of upper hand ready to go, and we've got our tanks, or tank is got 2 stacks of slow release med pack. We're ready to go. We are absolutely ready to go, and some marauder, usually, we'll blame the marauders because we blame them for everything, is usually not ready, and you're like, ah, it's so frustrating, because you're just prepared. And it's worse if you're a sage though, because then you gotta wait for the debuff on the force armor to wear off, and you're like, god damn it, ready check means go. I mean, come on, we're always waiting for 1 DPS. It always annoys us as healers. So either that, or we wait till after the ready check and the tank is already pulled and we're not ready. So it can be a bit of an annoyance. That's one of the things that annoys me as a healer, is that we do get those kind of situations where we're ready to go, got 2 stacks of upper hand, please pull the boss. I have, you know, 2 stacks of slow release med pack. I don't want to put the slow release med pack on again. I don't want to get my upper hand back again. I don't want to have to stealth and then come out of stealth, because I like that. I like that ability that you get coming out of stealth, having 2 stacks of upper hand. It gives you so much healing, and when something goes wrong in a fight, generally it's the healer who makes the difference. You know, DPS pulls too many, you know, pulls an extra crash pack or whatever, or you know, the tank stands in the wrong position and the DPS take a lot of damage. It's generally the healer that's there to bail you out, we're there. You know, a good healer is going to bail you out. A good healer is going to cover a lot of mistakes. And that's what's awesome about it, is you can just be that difference maker. You feel more involved than you do when you're DPSing or tanking, because tanking, the boss is hitting you, it's not hitting anyone else. You're doing your job fine, you've got your mitigation up, you got your defenses up, and you know, it's fair enough. You're doing your job. Whereas as a healer, you know, there's always something for you to do. And hard mode flashpoints, small group content, is where you really have fun as a healer. Operations are just boring these days because we're just sitting there. You know, someone takes some damage, for God's sake, someone make a mistake, someone stand in some fire or something, just so I can have something to do in an operation. So if this video ever gets uploaded, hopefully I'll get it uploaded this week sometime. I'm still expecting a new router anytime this week. Hopefully it'll come tomorrow. If it comes tomorrow, I'll upload this video tomorrow. I don't know, what day is it? It's Monday night. It is Monday the 28th of July. That's what date I'm recording this at. So if it gets uploaded on Tuesday the 29th of July, or maybe if I decide to upload it on 3G, it'll get uploaded, you know, December 27th, 2016. Hey, remember SWTOR? Remember when it used to have healers in it? Yeah, before we had tactical operations, which is just full of marauders nowadays. Yeah, so if I do upload it on that, we'll be saying, what the hell's a healer? Right, so that is all for this little video. If you're a healer, let me know your favourite healing class. I've said mine. Mine is a Scoundrel because I just love the mobility, and I love the fact that we never run out of energy. It's just awesome. You feel like such a heroic healer when you just can heal non-stop. And the Mercenary is pretty good as well. Mercenary is your kind of middle of the road healer. You know, you've got your two healers at the opposite end. You've got your Scoundrel, which is mostly your single target burst healer, and you've got your Sage, which is the sort of AoE type, you know, the AoE raid healer who's going to heal the majority of the raid. And you've got your Mercenary that sits somewhere in the middle, and I quite like that for your Mercenary or your Commando. We sit somewhere in the middle. We don't quite have the burst of the Scoundrel, and we don't quite have the AoE of the Sage, but we do have a nice mix of both. It makes us quite versatile. It makes us very good in flashpoints because we can do both, essentially. We've got a nice bit of both. We're a bit of a jack of all trades, but we still do decent healing. It used to be before, of course, the Mercenary was a bit of a joke healer. So yeah, I mean, I like the Merc, to be honest. I've healed a lot of hard mode operations, a lot of hard mode flashpoints as my Merc. I've healed a few as my Scoundrel, who's not as well geared as my Merc, but I do enjoy it as a Scoundrel. I enjoy the mobility. That's the big thing about the Scoundrel. I've never healed a hard mode on a Sage yet. Don't think I'm brave enough to do that, to be honest with you, although everyone's moving to Nightmare, so I don't think I'm going to get that chance to heal hard mode. Which is a pity, because there's no way in hell I'm healing Nightmare on my Sage. Not when I've got my Merc. I've got my Sorcerer and my Sage, sorry I should say. They're both the same gear, because they use Legacy gear. So it won't matter which side, but I'd still to level a Commando. Yeah, still gotta do that. Having mained a Mercenary for so long. And anyways, that is all for this video, so thank you for joining me, and again, we'll see you soon if I ever get my internet fixed, and goodbye.
Evaluating thermal tolerance. Loading final evaluation. Participant species demonstrate admirable black tangent. Participant species will demonstrate full battle output capacity. This unit will supply urgency to heighten response performance. Effusive jubilation. Please accept material form positive reinforcement. This unit rejoices in participant species'